an easy thing to do. I imagine Meechie Johnson was seeing some of the negative things maybe being said about him on Twitter or Instagram in this case, and just wanted to, address it head on, and give his thoughts and feelings on why this is taking place. And in today's world of college sports, we shouldn't be shocked when anybody goes in the transfer portal. You don't have to like it, but it's become such a norm across the landscape of college sports now. It's not exactly shocking when somebody goes in. That being said, there are a lot of people when a player transfers from their respective school to go wherever, there's this, I don't want to say it's a desire, but there's this, routine that a lot of people have where they automatically skew to the negative and talking bad about that player and saying, well, he wasn't that great, or, well, we don't need him, and blah, 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 blah. There's no two ways about it. This is a big blow to South Carolina. He was obviously the leading scorer on this team. Now, was he the only superstar player on this team? No, and I wouldn't even put superstar on anybody on this team because they were more of a sum of all their parts more than anything else. But he was a key piece in this team's success this season, though he was streaky at times where, he wasn't consistently going out there and scoring 15, 20 points a night, had some many single-digit performances, throughout his time this season, that is well documented. We talked about that plenty of different ways, but regardless, he was still a key part of this team in a variety of ways, not only from what he was able to do on the court with some of those amazing games that he's had, but also from a leadership standpoint as well. And I don't think that can be undersold. Here's a guy that came in 2 seasons ago, was one of the first to really buy in to what Lamont Paris was selling. And for him to be able to come from the transfer portal, where he had previously been at Ohio State, where he was just a guy coming off the bench, wasn't a featured player. He came here seeking the opportunity to be a featured member of a Power 5 team, and that's what he was able to do. And again, as he mentioned in his Instagram Live there, he sang the praises of Coach Paris and saying anybody would be lucky to come down here and play for him, and they'll get you where you need to go and all that kind of stuff. And for Meechie Johnson to be such a huge part of helping build what Lamont Paris has been able to do in 2 years, that sucks to see him go. And from a leadership standpoint, as I mentioned, when you have a guy that's streaky like he is and has a lot of ups and downs, it can go from scoring 25 points one game to scoring 5 points the next game. They're not always going to be in the best frame of mind or have the right mindset to deal with those kind of ups and downs. But I go back to like the first Missouri game South Carolina played this season, where Meechie Johnson was not playing well, ended up getting benched in the final few minutes of that game, and I think sat most of overtime as well. There are a lot of players around the country, especially if you're a leading scorer on a team, that may just kind of collapse into themselves sitting on the bench and not want to be as engaged and still be that leader. But Meechie Johnson's in the huddle. Meechie Johnson's hyping guys up. Meechie Johnson's doing what he needs to do to help his team still win the game, and lo and behold, they did. So that is something else that you're losing in Meechie Johnson going into the transfer portal, and not returning for his third and final year at South Carolina.